Hi guys, welcome to part 7. Thank you so much to everyone who watched part 6, and thank you to some of my new subscribers as well. So it's come to that time again where I'd like to recommend to you some proper little hidden gems. Let's go! So this movie I watched not too long ago, and it's a Netflix exclusive. It is a war drama film directed by Spike Lee. It is Da 5 Bloods. So Da 5 Bloods follows 4 Vietnam veterans who return to Vietnam in search of one of their fallen comrades, and to also find treasure they buried there. Now I'll admit I found it quite slow to begin with. I wasn't sure what to expect, but let me tell you, as the film progresses, it just gets better and better. And it gets to a point where you'll just be hit with surprise after surprise, and a couple of shocking moments occur as well, and it's pretty unpredictable too. It ends up being a pretty epic adventure story with these guys, and you'll feel a definite sense of attachment to them, while they go on this journey that ends up being far more dangerous than they had anticipated.
Broken man.
Like I said, it starts slowish, but stick with it because it has an awesome payoff. In fact, this movie feels like it would have worked better being shown as a cinema release, and I wish it was, because it has some of the fundamental elements that would make it a great cinematic experience, such as incredible action, drama and adventure, and I would consider it to be one of the better Netflix exclusives, and more importantly, a great little hidden gem. Next up is another Netflix exclusive, so at this point it would be safe to say that Netflix are knocking it out of the park lately with their exclusives. I am talking about a movie called The Platform. Now this was an awesomely pleasant surprise. I had no anticipation whatsoever regarding this film. Didn't see a trailer, just heard from people that it was a good film. But I'd say it was better than good, and in fact was great. The entire film is set in this tower with a platform in the middle that shifts up and down and brings food to each of the residents on each floor. So inevitably this is bad news for people on the bottom floor, as by the time it gets to them they are essentially left with nothing but scraps. So on top of that, people are reassigned a different random floor to occupy. Now this is one of them movies that keeps you engaged throughout, as you are immediately prompted to ask so many questions such as why are they there, what's going on, will they ever get out, and what is this all about? And the plot as well is always moving to a nice pace. There is always something different happening and constantly keeps you guessing and in suspense.
Down a suicide. Hunger will drive you mad.
Because of its premise and the ideas and the direction of the plot, this film will accommodate you with a very unique experience from start to finish. Do not miss this one. So this is my first martial arts recommendation in this series, and films of this kind we simply do not see enough of. But luckily there's always that one gem that comes out now and again to fill that void, and on this occasion it is a film called The Night Comes For Us. Now for me, the last great martial arts movie or movies were The Raid 1 and 2, and this one has the same actor, being Iko Uwais, which for anyone who has seen the Raid films will know how badass he was in that. Now it's a shame because we had Tony Jaa star in a couple of great martial arts movies, being On Back and Warrior King, but then he seemed to disappear off the radar, and I remember thinking, especially after seeing Warrior King, that we have the next great martial arts movie star here, but he seemed to be put to waste a bit after Warrior King. Then came Iko Uwais in The Raid, and I think we all felt that this guy could be the next great star in the world of martial arts. So The Night Comes For Us on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a favourable score overall and reads, a bloody thrill ride designed to test the limits of the more squeamish viewers. The Night Comes For Us wields a stylishly violent action-packed punch. So yeah, I honestly advise you to check out The Night Comes For Us. It's one of the best in the realm of martial arts at the moment on Netflix. If you're looking for a straight up badass movie with the awesome Iko Uwais, then this one is for you. So next is another South Korean directed movie, and coming from none other than the awesome Bong Joon-ho, who brought us the masterpiece Parasite, I highly recommend Okja. Now if any Bong Joon-ho movie comes to Netflix, it's more than likely going to be a mention, because most in his catalogue are underrated movies. Snowpiercer is another prime example. So this is a adventure action film that revolves around this little girl called Mia, who raises a genetically modified super pig named Okja, and after she is captured by the Morando Corporation, Mia seeks to reunite with her, where she ends up finding out about all sorts of shady business going on behind closed doors regarding these super pigs. Now the plot, although feels familiar regarding a kid wanting to get something back that they have had this bond with, that's also unique and that has been stolen by a greedy corporation, still manages to feel fresh with its own ideas, like for example the look and style of the Super Pigs that oozes originality. And pair that up with awesome performances and, as usual, fantastic direction from Bong Joon-ho, with a sprinkling of social commentary and a emotionally driven story, and you've got yourself one hell of an underrated movie here. Do yourself a favour and check out Okja. So I think I'll end on something spookular in the form of a sci-fi horror flick known as Dark Skies. I honestly find this to be one of the most underrated horror films of the 2010s. Now if you love horror with a dash of sci-fi, then you should love this. I can't go too much into the plot without spoiling it, but I found most of the scares in this to be really effective.
Daniel? Why aren't you answering me? Daniel!
And when they reveal certain things also, I found it to be really interesting and thought-provoking. Most of the movie is this kind of big mystery regarding certain bizarre occurrences in the house. For example, things in the kitchen being rearranged out of the blue and birds flying into windows. What works in this is that they don't show you too much, which is what makes it more unnerving, because you find out at one point in the film what is actually going on in the house, and it is horribly unsettling to think about someone or something watching you and not knowing about it.
Sooner or later, when they're ready, they will take your family.
Do not open this door under any circumstance.
Yeah, a genuinely creepy little horror film that I highly recommend, and which is most certainly underrated.